character to start the game.
Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan on the opening tip. And it's
shots up tonight. I think he proved that there.
There's the lob, off the mark, but recovered.
Shaq would like the fact that in most All-Star games anyway, he's not going to get double teamed. I mean, he faces everything in the regular season. He gets one-on-one coverage out here.
Shot. Here's Wade over McGrady. Following the All-Star break, after Ron Rothstein did a nice job. Here's the steal by Wade. Took it out of the hands of McGrady, but broke it up. And here is Bryant setting it up for Nowitzki. Rebound Garnett, slips it to Bryant. Kobe. James using the pick and trying to find Shaq on a pick. Now Bryant from way downtown. Nowitzki for Duncan. 4 lead here in the early moments. McGrady putting moves on Bosch. Duncan is wide open on here early for Dirk Nowitzki. And here is Mara's second best record in the NBA at 39-13, although they've had their problems.
Overtime against Cleveland in the playoffs.
Bryant rims out, rebounded by James. Outlets Arenas, who is ahead of the field. Dwight Howard, outstanding third-year player, has checked in for the first time as Kobe Bryant gets the crowd going. Here's the alley-oop for Dwayne Wade.
All right, game on.
Guys have broken a sweat now.
They seem to be in slow motion, just kind of getting their legs underneath them, and then at the other end, the alley-oop from LeBron to Wade in this crowd all of a sudden.
Expiring contract at season's end. That's what the Lakers are trying to do in order to get Jason Kidd into a gold uniform. Nice.
Parker of San Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
Nice pass. White House.
Going by Doug's chart, he kept Glenn Rice in the game.
Yes, a vivid memory for Doug. Stoudemire, tip missed, and on a third attempt.
And you see, he still has some work to do on his post game. I think he's still so young as Carmelo.
Around by LeBron James. Here comes Parker. Nice lead. Anthony was blocked. Played by Josh Howard. And it's tipped.
O'Neal tipping the ball back into his own basket by accident.
Pro appearance here in All-Star play. LeBron James shooting just under 70. Now at the point, here's Amari Stoudemire. Fractured knee surgery. Played in only 3 games last season. Here is Jermaine O'Neal going
from being an effective player, but made a remarkable recovery.
Oh, off the glass attempted for LeBron. Who was not able to handle it. Here is Josh Howard. So that's a 3 attempted by Howard, kept alive. Carmelo. He was a late add due to an injury.
Well, he would have been a lock had he not been suspended by the NBA after Howard gets the foul. Then you go from a lock to not even on the roster. I'm happy for Carmelo that he got this second chance.
Stoudemire twisting his way, and Neal is up front with Vince Carter of the Nets and Dwight Howard of the Orlando Magic. Howard with the rebound. Howard puts it down.
In there.
Averaging just under 12 rebounds per game. Here's Stoudemire. Yes. And caught.
Well,
like perfect basketball. Here's the alley-oop throw. Caught him, but no one on Dwight Howard. And the West now.
The computer up there.
Parker.
Settle for long threes anymore. In fact, barely ever shoots three-pointers.
Anthony backing up to the position. Carter spinning his way in and then able to recover. Chauncey Billups on the other side on the recovery of the miss by Carter. Here's the lead for Anthony. West opening up a 10-point lead. And this time Carter spins and connects. Hamilton on the handoff from those of the Pistons. Came off the bench. In fact, came off at the same time. Here is Parker. Ray Allen. Eddie in his 4th season as the head coach. Kings. Here is Ray Allen
in a game, so they're on pace to get that by halftime.
19 of 39, shot well, just under 49%. Here's Hamilton.
Rip Hamilton and Chauncey Billups, two great players for the Detroit Pistons. Here's Ray Allen unloading.
And here is McGrady for three.
What a remarkable season it's been. The last 2 years, they've fallen apart without those guys.
There you have it. Off the backcourt, you knew it's going to happen at least one. The West up 48-35. Nowitzki from downtown.
His Suns teams do in the regular season, so Mike obviously very
Coverage starting at 12:30 in the East.
My favorite time of year to watch, sprinting into the finish for playoff positioning.
West going with a combination of McGrady and Allen handling the ball without a true point guard. O'Neal, he missed the stuff. Gets it right back. Well, Rip Hamilton with an unselfish move.
planted a kiss on Tracy McGrady, kind of Dick Bavetta style as he ran back.
Here's O'Neal. Here's that play a moment ago as Shaq comes down, makes very close contact.
Philadelphia, Marvin, was my first All-Star game, and I actually taped.
You were the player involved. I used to love watching those. CBS was doing the games at the time. And he would just boss you guys around.
Oh, yeah.
How I enjoyed that look
Between NBA players at halftime of the telecast. That was great stuff.
All right, here's Nowitzki. Now McGrady for Marion.
It's one thing. It's great when you play against these guys, and
Good answer. We'll see.
Sounds like David's got more phone calls to make.
I also have the same feeling at All-Star game, Doug. I got to know Steve much.
In the morning, it just goes crazy, which has made him great, but may also hurt him, as you said.
Stoudemire, but West has opened up a 20-point lead. Here's Wade, O'Neal, another opportunity.
He's a very proud guy. He didn't play very well his first inning. He was 0 for 3 in his first 4 or 5 minutes. I think he wants to, play well before he sits down.
There's Parker. Tony Parker, guys, come a long way after being drafted 28th by the Spurs back in. And obviously, Gilbert Arenas has some plans for Kobe Bryant. And here is Bryant at the other end.
He looks awfully familiar. It's basically the national team from the World Championships.
Carmelo Anthony Tomahawk,
Coaches of that national team.
and said he wants to go up against Duke University. LeBron James puts it down. Mike Krzyzewski, the head coach of the national team. Garnett is fouled years ago, scoring 37 points of that double over
39 field goal attempts in the first quarter. I think a lot.
He's grown as a player and a person, and it takes a lot of toughness. We're proud of him.
I know you're sitting out tonight, but hopefully we can see you Tuesday night when you guys take on the Clippers. Any chance?
6-point deficit in a normal game.
Now, Marvin, I saw one in Washington a few years ago. It was 21 down with 9 minutes to go, and the East came back and won.
Arnold on hand, along with his wife, Maria Shriver. And there is Diddy. He was here last night for All-Star Saturday night, as was Barry Bonds. And also courtside, Prince, who is flanked in the shadows there by number 3 left in this first half. Arenas on a Parker with the lead for Duncan. And slips it right back inside. Chris Bosh and Joe Johnson up front. Wade changed his mind. It was deflected. And off the save, here comes Carmelo Anthony. Parker for Anthony. (74-53) West. James 4-3.
Daily basis repetitively to be a better shooter.
16 points for LeBron. 5 of 5 here this early. We'll see.
This is his kind of game. He loves this. There's Tim giving him the unselfish
Power his teammates, make them better. Unbelievable in the locker room. He's just an amazing player in person.
And here is Howard coming up short. Howard is fouled. Live performances from Tony Braxton, the entertainment that we're going to see at halftime. Tony Parker played 14 minutes in the first half, 3 of 6 from the field, 6 points and 5 assists. Bryant gets in the West, a West team that included Alex.
Tim Duncan. Now look at their Stoudemire, Sean.
Back comes Bryant. Nice shovel to Marion. Dwight Howard starting at the center for Shaquille O'Neal started the game, and here's Howard rejected by Stoudemire. Howard again.
Josh Howard, nobody gets anything.
And Bosch able to beat the West 5 for 64. That is one shy of the spin of the all-time All-Star game record, also established in 1989 by the West. And White in this third quarter, they're now down 85-65. Stoudemire
was out partying. Eddie Jordan said he was watching tape of the Minnesota game. That's their first.
Jay-Z and Beyonce. Adam Sandler. Actor Chris Tucker. Gabrielle Union, along with Gabriela Solis, Eva Longoria, the fiancée of Tony Parker and Grammy Award winner. And Shawn Marion comes up with the loose ball. Amari West on top. Bryant with the lead for Stoudemire. Another East turnover. Here comes Marion. And James with no one in it. Took away the schoolyard aspect. Arenas for Bosch. And Bosch. Hamilton played by Allen. Hamilton able to swing inside. Mike D'Antonio's also made some changes. Stoudemire remaining on the floor and 13 for 21 points.
Got a beautiful stroke, and Doug, you talked about it earlier. I mean, the fact that
He's shooting the basketball, and once you start trusting that.
Clippers, Doug, I know you, Kevin, will be on hand. Miami and Dallas in Dallas. Here's Allen on a quick release.
he wrote a blog that really ripped into Wade, and it looked like it was going to get out of hand, and then Wade just kind of laughed it off. And
In a lot of different ways. They can beat you in a 120-point game, and then we saw 10 minutes of the fourth period.
And you look at the
but Yao Ming, you've got several Lakers ready to come back. Those West playoffs are going to be murdered.
Kobe Bryant, LV, but lives here in the offseason. Most of his family is here. Back comes Hamilton. There's Carter with him. The lead for Carter too far. And it's Marion ahead of the field and shows us his version of the windmill.
The wedding is in France in July.
Now he's concerned about.
Well, it's actually, I can't reveal where it is.
That's a standing still. He's a total package to me as a shooter.
And a nice Duncan with the rebound. Anthony.
Reminds me last week. Remember, he was so upset with his team, the Wizards, regarding their defense. Then he had that exchange with Gilbert Arenas.
110-80. The West on top. O'Neal, yes, right knee. Made the All-Star team last year, but sat out due to injury. But including that, it's just
we'll see who finishes off with it.
His first All-Star appearance for Caron Butler, your Wizards team.
So I know, Caron's here, celebrating, Eddie's celebrating, I'm celebrating. So, hopefully,
Anthony. The West with 51 field goals. They have 40 assists on the take at the distance.
Start getting back to that's the standings in that Southeast Division. What makes that most interesting, I think, is that two best teams in the conference.
A little bit like last year, Dallas and San Antonio in the summer.
Nowitzki.
Is he the best big shooter ever?
I can't think of a voice.
All right, we mentioned the upcoming wedding. Tell us how excited you are about getting married to Eva.
very exciting. Plane's doing great, and actually,
the West is up 119-91. Here is Kevin Garnett, 66. The East won by 43 games in the West, 43 points.
Crossover with the same hand, back and forth. Interesting move from McGrady.
Momentum.
Oh, you talk about the Utah Jazz. Okur, Darren Williams having a terrific year at the point guard position. Carlos Booth, now you hard. I mean, you're going to take hard, tough fouls.
Garnett to the step back. O'Neal.
And Shaq's rookie, his shot was so flat, and he really worked on lifting that shot and worked a lot with Kevin McHale.
6'11", 260 pounds. Nice look away from LeBron James. 27 points. Marion stepping into three-point territory.
Here we go, the Diesel. We knew we'd break it out here before long.
Put between the legs. Memento Core enjoying it. And looks to finish it off, but came up short. Marion. So Sean Marion able to score to give the West a 29-point lead.
Every big man wants to be a guard, right?
Wade, but a timeout has been called.
Magic O'Neal up on the top of the circle area. Look at it. The crossover, the inside out, and then Carmelo rolling over with laughter. He's not been smooched on the lips.
Wade goes. We have 7:40 remaining in this fourth quarter. Bryant open for 47 assists. That was number 47 just a moment ago. That is an all-star record. 4 pulled off by the West in an overtime game. Magic Johnson with 22 of those 46. Wow. Kobe Bryant, man. 24 points, 10 of 17 from the field for Bryant and
here. But this is tainted because I didn't realize you actually have a vote.
Well, this might be the decide.
And then next Sunday on ABC, the Bulls and the Pistons, followed by the Cavaliers.
That's a gooseneck. That's what Dwight Howard says to himself when he shoots the free throw to make himself follow through. So that's what he was making reference to when he
points. He's 11 of 18 from the field. LeBron James too strong on that shot.
Kobe's got a little something going with LeBron right now. Tried to steal the ball from him last time.
Another possession for the West. Stoudemire off the dribble with a beautiful feed.
They have not played that much together. Can they make a run?
Here's James hooked out.
Interesting group. You know, since we've been in the West, we've always, you know, even when Rasheed was here, the thing is to enjoy yourself while you're here. You know, you battle these guys. Now they're good to come out here and interact with them.
Nobody has more on their shoulders than you do in the regular season. You got the Minnesota Timberwolves in the
games for.
Congratulations, another All-Star appearance. We always like to see you.
Let me ask you something. What you got on tonight? What's this?
Brioni and Pucci.
Led by Kobe Bryant. Kobe with 29 points, 6 assists. You see Amari Stoudemire, 11 was the game played in Atlanta. Stoudemire kept away momentarily. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining. There's Stoudemire ahead of the field. 123.
If you were choosing MVP, which autograph there would you think?
I'll go with this one right here. I'll go with that one right there. Sometimes you miss players, so it's good to get them out on the floor now.
All right, thanks a lot. Thank you, Mark.
All right, Craig, here is Stoudemire. And it's put. Thank you, so honored.
I've already done it, Marv, so I got him during that timeout.
All right, here's Johnson. Bosch.
And Garbajosa to the international players, Anthony Parker.
Balanced team.
Anything, he's looking over at Duncan because he tried to do one to Duncan before, and Duncan says, I can't jump.
See 68 field goals at 2007 All-Star in Las Vegas. TNT overtime is on all the way. They've led by as many as 33. Bryant to the rope first. Put the speed on. 31 points for Kobe Bryant. I believe he will be receiving the trophy.
It's the exclamation point right there.
Here's Bosch. 155 points.
How different
is the record?
Mark, how different it is, though. If Kobe wins the MVP, they're actually chanting Kobe. The last time he did in Philadelphia, it was his hometown. He got booed.
So the final score, the West 153, the East 132. The West falls